August 20th is the 232nd day of the year in the Gregorian calendar. There are 133 days remaining until the end of the year. This date is slightly more likely to fall on a Monday, Thursday or Saturday than on Tuesday or Wednesday, and slightly less likely to occur on a Friday or Sunday. Events: 14 Agrippa, posthumous, adopted son of the late Roman Emperor Augustus, is executed by his guards while in exile under mysterious circumstances. 636 Battle of Yarmouk. Arab forces led by Khalid ibn al-Walid take control of Syria and Palestine away from the Byzantine Empire, marking the first great wave of Muslim conquests and the rapid advance of Islam outside Arabia. 917 Battle of Ashalouz. Tsar Simeon I of Bulgaria decisively defeats a Byzantine army. 1000 The foundation of the Hungarian state by St. Stephen, celebrated as a national day in Hungary. 1083 Canonization of the first king of Hungary, St. Stephen, and his son St. Emeric. 1308 Pope Clement V pardons Jacques de Molay, the last headmaster of the Knights Templar, absolving him of charges of heresy. 1391 Conrad von Wallenrode becomes the 24th headmaster of the Teutonic Order. 1467 The Second Battle of Olmedo takes place as part of a succession conflict between Henry IV of Castile and his half-brother Alfonso, Prince of Asturias. 1519 Philosopher and General Wang Yangming defeats Zhu Zhenghao, ending the Prince of Ning rebellion against the reign of the Ming dynasty's Zheng Emperor. 1672 Former Grand Pensionary Johann de Witt and his brother Cornelis are brutally murdered by an angry mob in The Hague. 1707 The First Siege of Pensacola comes to end with the failure of the British to capture Pensacola, Florida. 1710 War of the Spanish Succession. A multinational army led by the Austrian commander Guido Starhemberg defeats the Spanish Bourbon army commanded by Alexandre Maitre, Marquis de Bay in the Battle of Saragossa. 1775 The Spanish established the Presidio San Agustin del Tucson in the town that became Tucson, Arizona. 1794 Battle of Fallen Timbers. American troops force a confederacy of Shawnee, Mingard, Delaware, Wyandotte, Miami, Ottawa, Chippewa, and Potawatomi warriors into a disorganized retreat. 1858 Charles Darwin first publishes his theory of evolution through natural selection in the Journal of the Proceedings of the Linnean Society of London, alongside Alfred Russel Wallace's same theory. 1866 President Andrew Johnson formally declares the American Civil War over. 1882 Tchaikovsky's 1812 Overture debuts in Moscow, Russia. 1910 The Great Fire of 1910 occurs in northeast Washington, northern Idaho, and western Montana, burning approximately 3 million acres. 1914 Brussels is captured in the course of the German invasion of Belgium. 1920 The first commercial radio station, 8MK, begins operations in Detroit. 1926 Japan's public broadcasting company, Nippon Hoso Kyokai, is established. 1938 Lou Gehrig hits his 23rd career Grand Slam, a record that stood for 75 years until it was broken by Alex Rodriguez. 1940 In Mexico City, Mexico, exiled Russian revolutionary Leon Trotsky is fatally wounded with an ice axe by Ramon Mercader. He dies the next day. 1940 World War II. British Prime Minister Winston Churchill makes the fourth of his famous wartime speeches, containing the line, "Never was so much owed by so many to so few." 1944 World War II. 168 captured Allied airmen, including Phil Lamison, accused by the Gestapo of being terrorflyers, arrive at Buchenwald concentration camp. 1944 World War II. The Battle of Romania begins with a major Soviet Union offensive. 1950 Korean War. United Nations repel an offensive by North Korean divisions attempting to cross the Nakadong River and assault the city of Taregou. 1955 Battle of Philippeville. In Morocco, a force of Berbers from the Atlas Mountains region of Algeria raid 2 rural settlements and kill 77 French nationals. 1960 Senegal breaks from the Mali Federation, declaring its independence. 1962 The NS Savannah, the world's first nuclear-powered civilian ship, embarks on its maiden voyage. 1965 Keene, New Hampshire Episcopal Seminarian Jonathan Daniels, 26, is murdered by shotgun at point-blank range in Hayneville, Alabama, by an unpaid sheriff's deputy, sacrificing his life for young black activist Ruby Sales, whom he pushed out of the way of the blast. 1968 Soviet Union-dominated Warsaw Pact troops invade Czechoslovakia, crushing the Prague Spring. 1975 Viking program. NASA launches the Viking 1 planetary probe toward Mars. 1977 Voyager program. NASA launches the Voyager 2 spacecraft. 1986 In Edmond, Oklahoma, U.S. Postal employee Patrick Sherrill guns down 14 of his co-workers and then commits suicide. 1988 Black Saturday of the Yellowstone Fire in Yellowstone National Park. 1988 Iran-Iraq War. A ceasefire is agreed after almost 8 years of war. 1988 The Troubles. 8 British soldiers are killed and 28 wounded when the bus is hit by an IRA roadside bomb in Ballygawley, County Tyrone. 1989 The pleasure boat Marshna sinks on the River Thames following a collision. 51 people are killed. 1991 Dissolution of the Soviet Union. August coup. More than 100,000 people rally outside the Soviet Union's parliament building protesting the coup aiming to depose President Mikhail Gorbachev. 1991 Estonia, annexed by the Soviet Union in 1940, issues a decision on the re-establishment of independence on the basis of historical continuity of its pre-World War II statehood. 1993 After rounds of secret negotiations in Norway, the Oslo Accords are signed, followed by a public ceremony in Washington, D.C. the following month. 1997 Suhani massacre in Algeria. Over 60 people are killed and 15 kidnapped. 1998 The Supreme Court of Canada rules that Quebec cannot legally secede from Canada without the federal government's approval. 1998 U.S. Embassy bombings. The United States launches cruise missile attacks against alleged al-Qaeda camps in Afghanistan and a suspected chemical weapons plant in Sudan in retaliation for the August 7 bombings of American embassies in Kenya and Tanzania. 2002 A group of Iraqis opposed the regime of Saddam Hussein take over the Iraqi embassy in Berlin, Germany for 5 hours before releasing the hostages and surrendering. 2006 Sri Lankan Civil War. Sri Lankan Tamil politician and former MPS, Siva Maharaja is shot dead at his home in Telipalai. 2007 China Airlines Flight 120 caught fire and exploded after landing at Naha Airport in Okinawa, Japan. 2008 Spanair Flight 5022, from Madrid, Spain to Gran Canaria, skids off the runway and crashes at Barajas Airport. Of the 172 people on board, 146 die immediately, and 8 more later die of injuries sustained sustained in the crash. 2012 A prison riot in the Venezuelan capital, Caracas, kills at least 20 people. 2014 72 people are killed in Japan's Hiroshima prefecture by a series of landslides caused by a month's worth of rain that fell in one day. 2016 to 54 people are killed when a suicide bomber detonates himself to Kurdish wedding party in Gaziantep, Turkey. Births: 1517 Antoine Perronneau de Granvelle, French cardinal and art collector. 1561 Jacopo Peri, Italian singer and composer. 1613 Duchess Elizabeth Sophie of Mecklenburg. 1625 Thomas Corneille, French playwright and philologist. 1632 Louis Bourdaloue, French preacher and academic. 1710 Thomas Simpson, English mathematician and academic. 1719 Christian Mayer, Czech astronomer and educator. 1720 Bernard de Berry, French harpsichord player and composer. 1752 Landgravine Friedrich of Hesse-Darmstadt. 1778 Bernardo O'Higgins, Chilean general and politician, second Supreme Director of Chile. 1779 Jöns Jacob Berzelius, Swedish chemist and academic. 1799 James Prinsep, English Orientalist and scholar. 1833 Benjamin Harrison, American general, lawyer, and politician, 23rd President of the United States. 1845 Albert Chmielowski, Polish saint, founded the Albertine Brothers. 1847 Andrew Greenwood, English cricketer. 1847 Bolesław Prus, Polish journalist and author. 1856 Jakub Bartczynski, German poet and playwright. 1860 Raymond Poincaré, French lawyer and politician, 10th President of France. 1865 Bernard Tancred, South African cricketer and lawyer. 1868 Ellen Roosevelt, American tennis player. 1873 Elil Saarinen, Finnish architect and academic, co-designed the National Museum of Finland. 1881 Edgar Guest, English-American poet and author. 1881 Alexander Helat, Estonian politician, 6th Estonian Minister of Foreign Affairs. 1885 Dino Campana, Italian poet and author. 1886 Paul Tillich, German-American philosopher and theologian. 1887 Phan Khoi, Vietnamese journalist and scholar. 1888 Ton Thc Thang, Vietnamese politician, 2nd President of Vietnam. 1890 H.P. Lovecraft, American short story writer, editor, novelist. 1896 Gosthar Pal, Indian footballer. 1897 Tarjei Vesaas, Norwegian author and poet. 1898 Wilhelm Moberg, Swedish historian, journalist, author, and playwright. 1901 Salvatore Quasimodo, Italian novelist and poet, Nobel Prize laureate. 1905 Jean Gebser, German linguist, poet, and philosopher. 1905 Jack Teagarden, American singer, songwriter and trombonist. 1906 Charles Arndt, American actor. 1906 Bunny Austin, English tennis player. 1906 Vidrik Ruta, Estonian chess player. 1907 Alan Reed, American actor. 1908 Al Lopez, American baseball player and manager. 1909 Albie Roberts, New Zealand cricket and rugby player. 1910 Eero Saarinen, Finnish-American architect and furniture designer, designed the Gateway Arch. 1912 John H. Michaelis, American general. 1913 Roger Walcott Sperry, American neuropsychologist and neurobiologist, Nobel Prize laureate. 1916 Paul Felix Schmidt, Estonian-German chess player and chemist. 1918 Jacqueline Suzanne, American actress and author. 1919 Walter Bernstein, American screenwriter and producer. 1920 Arnold Green, Estonian soldier and politician. 1921 Jack Wilson, Australian cricketer. 1923 Jim Reeves, American singer-songwriter. 1924 George Zuvrink, American baseball player. 1926 Nobby Werkowski, American-Canadian football player and coach. 1927 John Boardman, English archaeologist and historian. 1927 Youth of Joyce, English actress. 1927 Fred Kavli, Norwegian-American businessman and philanthropist, founded the Kavli Foundation. 1927 Peter Oakley, English soldier and blogger. 1929 Kevin Heffernan, Irish footballer and manager. 1929 Lorenz Weinrich, German historian. 1930 Mario Bernardi, Canadian pianist and conductor. 1930 Peter Randall, English sergeant. 1931 Mikhail Kalest, Estonian canoe racer and coach. 1931 Don King, American boxing promoter. 1932 Vasily Aksionov, Russian physician, author, and academic. 1932 Athol McKinnon, South African cricketer. 1933 George J. Mitchell, American lieutenant, lawyer, and politician. 1934 Sneaky Pete Kleinow, American country rock pedal steel guitarist and songwriter. 1934 Arm Ikusala, Finnish model, Miss Universe 1952. 1934 Tom Mangold, German-English journalist and author. 1935 Ron Paul, American captain, physician, and politician. 1936 Hideki Shirakawa, Japanese chemist, engineer, and academic, Nobel Prize laureate. 1937 Jim Bone, English television host. 1937 Stelvio Cipriani, Italian composer. 1937 El Ferri, Spanish singer and actor. 1937 Andrei Konchalovsky, Russian director, producer and screenwriter. 1937 Sky Saxon, American singer-songwriter and bassist. 1938 Peter Day, English chemist and academic. 1938 Alain Vivian, French politician. 1939 Fernando Poe Jr., Filipino actor and politician. 1940 Ruben Hinojosa, American businessman and politician. 1940 Gus MacDonald, Scottish academic and politician, Minister for the Cabinet Office. 1940 Rex Sellers, Indian-Australian cricketer. 1941 Dave Brock, English singer-songwriter and guitarist. 1941 Rich Brooks, American football player and coach. 1941 Ann Evans, English soprano and actress. 1941 William H. Gray, American lawyer and politician. 1941 Slobodan Milosevic, Serbian lawyer and politician, first president of Serbia. 1941 Robin Oatley, English journalist and author. 1941 Joe Ramirez, Mexican race car driver and manager. 1942 Isaac Hayes, American singer-songwriter, pianist, producer, and actor. 1942 Fred Norman, American baseball player. 1943 Roger Gale, English journalist and politician. 1943 Sylvester McCoy, Scottish actor. 1944 Rajiv Gandhi, Indian lawyer and politician, 6th Prime Minister of India. 1944 Greg Nettles, American baseball player and manager. 1945 Roy Gardner, English businessman. 1946 Henrik Broder, Polish-German journalist and author. 1946 Connie Chung, American journalist. 1946 Laurent Fabius, French politician, 158th Prime Minister of France. 1946 Ralph Hutter, German singer and keyboard player. 1946 N.R. Narayana Murthy, Indian businessman, co-founded Infosys. 1947 Alan Lee, English painter and illustrator. 1947 James Pankow, American trombonist and songwriter. 1947 José Wilker, Brazilian actor, director, and producer. 1947 Ray Wise, American actor. 1948 John Noble, Australian actor and director. 1948 Robert Plant, English singer-songwriter. 1949 Nicholas Asomos, Greek singer-songwriter and guitarist. 1949 Katiana Balanica, Greek actress and singer. 1949 Alan Hardwick, English journalist, actor, and producer. 1949 Patrick Kilpatrick, American actor and producer. 1949 Phil Lynott, English-Irish singer-songwriter, bass player and producer. 1951 Greg Bay, American author. 1951 Marcel Dadi, Tunisian-French guitarist. 1951 Mohamed Morsi, Egyptian engineer and politician, 5th President of Egypt. 1951 DeForest Soares, American minister and politician, 30th Secretary of State of New Jersey. 1952 John Imberly, English cricketer and coach. 1952 Doug Fieger, American singer-songwriter and guitarist. 1952 John Hyatt, American singer-songwriter and guitarist. 1952 Rick Menello, American director and screenwriter. 1953 Jerry Bertier, American football player. 1953 Peter Horton, American actor and director. 1953 Mike Jackson, American politician. 1953 Jim Trenton, American radio host and actor. 1953 Leroy Burgess, American singer, songwriter, keyboard player, recording artist, and record producer. 1954 Quinn Buckner, American basketball player and coach. 1954 Torn Mastry, American radio host and producer. 1954 Al Roker, American journalist, actor, and author. 1955 Agnes Chan, Hong Kong singer and author. 1955 Janet Royal, Baroness Royal of Blaisdon, English politician, Chancellor of the Duchy of Lancaster. 1956 Joan Allen, American actress. 1956 Alvin Greenidge, Barbadian cricketer. 1956 Desmond Swayne, English soldier and politician, Vice-Chamberlain of the Household. 1957 Finlay Calder, Scottish rugby player. 1957 Jim Calder, Scottish rugby player. 1957 Simon Donaldson, English mathematician and academic. 1957 Sari Nantohi, Romanian journalist and historian. 1957 Paul Johnson, American football coach. 1958 Nigel Dodds, Northern Irish lawyer and politician. 1958 Patricia Rose MRP, Canadian director and screenwriter. 1958 David O. Russell, American director and screenwriter. 1958 Michael Silka, American spree killer. 1958 John Stair, American journalist. 1958 Yuki Washington, American journalist and actor. 1960 Dom Duff, Breton singer-songwriter, guitarist, composer. 1960 Mark Langston, American baseball player. 1961 Amanda Sonia Berry, English businesswoman. 1961 Greg Egan, Australian computer programmer and author. 1961 Joe Pasquale, English comedian and game show host. 1961 Alberto Zarain, Spanish mountaineer. 1962 Sophie Aldred, English actress. 1962 Tammy Bruce, American radio host and author. 1962 Song Dong-wook, South Korean tennis player. 1962 James Masters, American actor, singer, and guitarist. 1962 Duffy Waldorf, American golfer. 1963 Uwe B. Allen, German footballer and manager. 1963 Cal Daniels, American baseball player. 1963 Jose Cecina, Mexican baseball player. 1964 Dino Vornik, Croatian singer-songwriter, guitarist, producer, and actor. 1964 Azarias Ruboa, Congolese lawyer and politician, vice presidents of the Democratic Republic of the Congo. 1965 KRS-One, American rapper, producer, and actor. 1966 Miguel Albaladillo, Spanish director and screenwriter. 1966 Colin Cunningham, American actor, director, producer and screenwriter. 1966 Dimebag Darrell, American guitarist and songwriter. 1966 Enrico Letta, Italian lawyer and politician, 55th Prime Minister of Italy. 1966 David Rees-Snell, American actor. 1967 Tori, American bodybuilder and wrestler. 1967 Andy Beans, American baseball player. 1968 Brett Angel, English footballer and coach. 1968 Abdelatif Benartsi, Moroccan-French rugby player. 1968 KL Azinjessen, Swedish footballer and manager. 1968 Yuri Shiratori, Japanese voice actress and singer. 1968 Frode Barth, Norwegian guitarist and composer. 1969 Billy Gardell, American comedian, actor, and producer. 1969 Mark Holzma, American baseball player and scout. 1970 Els Callens, Belgian tennis player and sportscaster. 1970 Adrian Bauer, English actor. 1970 John D. Carmack, American game programmer, co-founded id Software. 1970 Fred Durst, American singer-songwriter, actor, and director. 1971 Nenad Bjelica, Croatian footballer and manager. 1971 Mac Allen, English rugby player and coach. 1971 Jonathan Kellerman Quan, Vietnamese American actor. 1971 Steve Stone, English footballer and coach. 1971 David Williams, English comedian, actor, and author. 1972 Derek Alston, American basketball player. 1972 Melvin Booker, American basketball player. 1972 Shane Akeley, American actor, coach, and sportscaster. 1972 Scott Quinnell, Welsh rugby player and sportscaster. 1972 Anna Amemiya, Japanese model and actress. 1973 Alban Bushi, Albanian footballer. 1973 Alexandra Finazzi, Brazilian footballer. 1973 Scott Goodman, Australian swimmer. 1973 Todd Helton, American baseball player. 1973 Cameron Mather, New Zealand rugby player and sportscaster. 1973 Jose Paniagua, Dominican baseball player. 1973 Don Swaby, American actor and screenwriter. 1974 Amy Adams, American actress and singer. 1974 Misha Collins, American actor. 1974 Big Mo, American rapper. 1974 Zarbulk Safar, Hungarian footballer and coach. 1974 Andy Strachan, Australian drama and songwriter. 1974 Maxim Vengerov, Russian violinist and conductor. 1975 Marcin Adamski, Polish footballer and manager. 1975 Marco Martin, Estonian pianist and educator. 1975 Sean Newton, English footballer. 1975 Mac Tonnies, American author and blogger. 1975 Elijah Williams, American football player and coach. 1976 Chris Drury, American ice hockey player. 1976 Cornel Frășineanu, Romanian footballer. 1976 Tony Grant, Irish footballer. 1976 Jean Kingsale, Aruban Dutch baseball player. 1976 Kristen Miller, American actress, producer and screenwriter. 1976 Marcel Podzis, German footballer. 1976 Fabio Alloa, Honduran footballer. 1977 Paolo Bianco, Italian footballer. 1977 Wayne Brown, English footballer. 1977 Felipe Contepomi, Argentine rugby player, coach and physician. 1977 Manuel Contepomi, Argentine rugby player. 1977 Shockmain Davis, American football player. 1977 A. M. Esmond, Welsh author, director and producer. 1977 Stéphane Gillet, Luxembourgian footballer. 1977 Aaron Hamill, Australian footballer and coach. 1977 Ivrinja Marson, Icelandic footballer. 1977 Kevin Navane, Jamaican-American actor and producer. 1977 James Ormond, English cricketer. 1977 Josh Pearce, American baseball player. 1977 Aaron Taylor, American baseball player. 1978 Alberto Martin, Spanish tennis player. 1978 Amir Mademi, Tunisian footballer. 1978 Chris Schroeder, American baseball player. 1979 Ha Ha, South Korean singer and actor. 1979 Sarah Borwell, English tennis player. 1979 Jamie Cullum, English singer-songwriter and pianist. 1979 Corey Sullivan, American baseball player. 1980 Langhorne Slim, American singer-songwriter and guitarist. 1980 Nicholas Torber, Argentine-Israeli footballer. 1981 Ben Barnes, English actor and singer. 1981 Brett Finch, Australian rugby league player and sportscaster. 1981 Artur Kotenko, Estonian footballer. 1981 Bernard Mendy, French footballer. 1981 Craig Ox, American football player. 1981 Byron Saxton, American wrestler, manager, and sportscaster. 1982 Celia Cute Ber Luis Alberti, Brazilian footballer. 1982 Alexandra Michelashvili, Georgian footballer. 1982 Monty Dumond, South African rugby player. 1982 Yusuf Hirsi, Ethiopian footballer. 1982 Joshua Kennedy, Australian footballer. 1982 Majane Lopez, Cuban wrestler. 1982 Richard Petiot, Canadian ice hockey player. 1982 Barney Rogers, Zimbabwean cricketer. 1982 Jamil Walker Smith, American actor, director, producer and screenwriter. 1982 Enyel Soto, Venezuelan Japanese baseball player. 1983 Hamza Abdullah, American football player. 1983 Paulo Andre Benini, Brazilian footballer. 1983 Andrew Garfield, American English actor. 1983 Hector Landazuri, Colombian footballer. 1983 Mladen Pelagic, Croatian footballer. 1983 Brian Schaefering, American football player. 1983 Yuri Zhirkov, Russian footballer. 1984 Wilton Jose Almeida, Brazilian footballer. 1984 Pavel Eisman, Czech footballer. 1984 Laura George, French footballer. 1984 Jamie Hoffman, American baseball player. 1984 Susumo Ka-chung, Bhutanese model and actress, Miss Bhutan 2008. 1984 Ingrid Lucas, Estonian Swiss singer-songwriter and pianist. 1985 Glenn Buttress, Australian rugby league player. 1985 Blake DeWitt, American baseball player. 1985 Thomas Domingard, French rugby player. 1985 Matt Haig, American baseball player. 1985 Jack King, English footballer. 1985 Alvaro Negredo, Spanish footballer. 1985 Willie Rippier, New Zealand rugby player. 1985 Joe Vitale, American ice hockey player. 1985 Stephen Ward, Irish footballer. 1985 Mark Washington, American football player. 1986 Stephen Campbell, Australian footballer. 1986 Linus Sebastian, YouTube personality, presenter, producer and founder of Linus Media Group. 1986 Letizia Ciampa, Italian actress. 1986 Damien Gaudin, French cyclist. 1986 Leorgine, Israeli footballer. 1986 Luis Alberto Marco, Spanish runner. 1986 Manuel Pamic, Croatian footballer. 1986 Andrew Selman, South African English footballer. 1986 Steven Zalewski, American ice hockey player. 1987 Stefan Ehner, German footballer. 1987 veteran Jan Cvjetovic, Croatian-Australian footballer. 1987 Cedar Jombati, Portuguese footballer. 1987 Egon Kor, Estonian race car driver. 1987 Roy Krishna, Fijian footballer. 1987 Catalina Ponor, Romanian gymnast. 1988 Jared Bayless, American basketball player. 1988 Sarah Lotfi, American director, producer and screenwriter. 1988 Fahap Pehlevan, Turkish boxer. 1988 Jose Zamora, Spanish footballer. 1989 Kirko Bangs, American rapper and producer. 1989 Nabil Gawagi, Hungarian footballer. 1989 Silas Kiplagat, Kenyan runner. 1989 Slavcho Shokolarov, Bulgarian footballer. 1989 Judd Trump, English snooker player. 1989 Dean Winnard, English footballer. 1990 Macaulay Chrysantis, Nigerian footballer. 1990 Velan Filipov, Bulgarian footballer. 1990 Lee Griffiths, Scottish footballer. 1990 Fabian Jastley, French footballer. 1990 Bradley Clarn, American tennis player. 1990 Ranomi Kromowidjojo, Dutch swimmer. 1990 Conan McCabe P, Canadian rower. 1991 Tefito Daba, Ethiopian runner. 1991 Marko Djokovic, Serbian tennis player. 1991 Dejan Glavica, Croatian footballer. 1991 Corey Joseph, American basketball player. 1991 Jyrki Jokipaka, Finnish hockey player. 1991 Arseny Logashov, Russian footballer. 1991 Luke O'Neill, English footballer. 1991 Mario Ticinovic, Croatian footballer. 1992 Maciej Delic, Croatian footballer. 1992 Demi Lovato, American singer-songwriter and actress. 1992 Andrei Peterlu, Romanian footballer. 1992 Denis Rakels, Latvian footballer. 1993 Mario Jelavic, Croatian footballer. 1993 Kamil Jakli, Algerian footballer. 1994 Mirali Tum, Estonian footballer. 1995 Anna Danilina, Russian-Kazakhstani tennis player. 2000 Fatima Tarchek, American voice actress.